contracts and bilk the feds. That's why. This company, Oshkosh Defense, was supposed to build 60,000. They only built 93. The CEO, John Pfeiffer, says he's really happy with the progress. The guy's a Democrat donor, by the way. If you had given this contract to Musk, we'd be done by now, with money left over. Biden spent $1 billion on DEI grants. What even is a DEI grant? What is it, reparations? Or the University of Honolulu has a DEI program. Here's $20 million, blow it on a luau. Did the National Action Network get a DEI grant? Because you know Al applied for it. We found out $170 million went to DEI mental health training. What's that? Is that sensitivity training for whites or therapy sessions for blacks? We don't know. They won't tell us. $1 billion. This is why bacon's $11. And you know what happened this year? All these companies dropped their DEI programs. It was one big waste of $1 billion. DEI went bankrupt. Biden's been having a fire sale down at the border. He stopped building Trump's wall and started selling scrap metal for pennies on the dollar. You can bid for the wall leftovers. Bidding starts at $5 per steel bollard. Biden knows what Trump's going to need, and it's more steel to restart the wall. But he's selling it on Facebook Marketplace. So the taxpayers take a bath. And Trump has to pay full price next year, meaning you do. So they're selling border wall, and other Democrats are harboring illegal alien gangbangers, so Trump can't deport them. Here's the border czar.
They can sit back and watch us, which, I find incredible. You don't want to take public safety threats out of your community and help us. But there are laws on the books that we will prosecute. I've arrested U.S. citizens for harboring an alien in their home or place of employment. If I can do it to a citizen, why can't I do it to a politician who's going to actively get in our way, prevent us from doing our job?
Now, Jose from Venezuela, who's got a knack for sex trafficking, has face tattoos. Democrats are going to stop Tom Homan from picking that bad hombre up and putting him on a plane home? They're really going to do that. Primetime has a policy. If you're an illegal alien with a face tattoo, you're out. I don't even need to see your rap sheet. We know you have one. Illegal alien with a face tattoo, you're out. I don't even need to see your rap sheet. We know you have one. We have enough to worry about with drones flying all over the place. The sitting president hasn't even said a word. No surprise. But Trump just beat him to the punch. Quote, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know, and now. Otherwise, shoot them down. This isn't the Dark Ages. We're not just going to sit and lay back like peasants and let our rulers experiment on us and then lie to us about it. The government knows exactly what the drones are. They're behind them. Now that Trump's involved, the Pentagon's going to have to cough it up. The Biden administration doesn't even respect the Democrat senator from New Jersey enough to tell him what's going on in his own state.
There hasn't been enough transparency, letting people know what's happening. It's allowing a lot of potentially misinformation to spread, or at least.
Hello, everybody. See, what's happening in U.S. is ever since President Trump got elected, things are changing. In 2016, the entire Washington, the deep state, meaning for those who do not know the term deep state, it's the term was coined up back in, I think, 2013 to see it's the shadow government, or so to speak, all the rich. There are several tiers of the rich elites in the world. The top tier controls the world politics. It doesn't matter it's US or anywhere, except maybe in countries like North Korea and Russia, it may be different. For sure, it's different. For Russia, it's said it's more like a pyramid. All the oligarchs just make up the pyramid, and who is at the top? Russian President Putin is on the top. So that's why he's very protective about protective of all the oligarchs. Of course, there have been instances where he came down really harsh, in the interest of the ordinary working people because they were being exploited. So, but other than that, why Putin is so protective of the oligarchs? Because it's like the pyramid. I said it's like the bricks or whatever in the pyramid. So if you pull the bottom row, the person at the top comes down, and so that's how it is. North Korea, of course, it's a communist country. Russia, of course, follows a socialist, sort of more like India. Those of you who are confused, or who do not know the distinction between a socialist country and a communist country, they pretty much follow in many respects they follow the same policies, except that in a socialist country they have the democratic element, which means there are elections, and in Russia you have elections, in India you have elections, and but in North Korea, and it's a dynasty. I mean, even I mean, we would like to think if the election is hoax, or what about United States? Totally rigged elections, and so China, of course, is just a totalitarian government. It's more like a mafia, and the top person who is you have to. It's like in the mafia, you have to serve number of years and unflinching loyalty. And if they ask your finger, you have to cut it and give it to the boss. And someone who has demonstrated rises up the ladder, and that takes a heck of a lot to become the leader of the party. So that's what we understand. And that said, in America, the democracy is an illusion too. You have democracy the day you vote. When you vote, yeah, that day you think, oh, you are part of making the decision as to which party or what government you want to rule. And people who are deluded, and it's an illusion, because that's a great concept, democracy. But who is controlling from behind the scene? That's the deep state, all the rich people. Billions go into the candidate to promote the candidate, and people don't understand. And media is all in the pockets of the top tier of the rich who form the deep state. And what they decide how they want to run is how it is run. And so all these politicians anywhere, be it India, be it any other country, and United States, they are all see, when they get elected, who do they? Yes, they get the votes, but the people are brainwashed. The media and all these, I mean, legacy media is, I mean, soon it will be extinct, which is a good thing, because the legacy media does not have any morals, any ethics, let alone conscience, right? And they would say anything when they are paid money, right? They will promote any diabolic lies and the narrative the paymasters want to, and the paymasters are part of the deep state. So these journalists, no integrity whatsoever, so-called journalists, for money they'll do anything. It reminds you of the world's oldest profession. I guess you know what I'm talking about, and so that's how it is. See, so when people are elected, the voting population often is very ignorant, in the sense they are not very cognizant of what the hell is going on in the world, what's happening in their own country. But the more, like they say, ignorance is bliss, but ignorance also, uh, you become hard-headed with your ignorance, because you're the most opinionated people are ignorant people. The more you become informed, your ignorance is dispelled, and you won't be as opinionated as these ignorant, uh, insane, passionate uh, people. They all get emotional, and the emotions and their passions are kindled by the media. They know what to say, how to pander to them. So that's how it is. And so don't want to say anything any further. Right, let's listen to this. And recently, the Washington DC, they wanted bill passed. It's about continuing resolution, and it was 1,547 pages, and it was just like 2 days before they came up with this 1,500, 2 or 3 days, I don't know exactly, but couple of days before they the voting, the senators are people who are not too familiar with how the American system works. There are 50 states, and there is a governor who is the head of the state. Of course, then we have senators. Each state has like two senators, as I understand, and but there are 102 senators, and the congressman. You might wonder why 102. That's a good question, because I think there are two states which are not, I think, Hawaii and subject to correction. Let alone, I'm not trying to address that. But let's move on with the current news and the Washington D.C. And of course, there are congressmen. There is some 500 odd numbers, and when a bill is proposed, it will be passed by the Congress, and if it just doesn't reach the consensus or whatever, the next step is the senators. They will vote, and that's why you need this Senate majority. The government president becomes his hands become tied up, because the party, that's, even if it's the ruling party, they don't have enough senators, and the Senate majority, as they call it, it's very difficult to pass the bill. Bill is a proposal that's to become a law with the voting and the approval and the assent of the Senate. So that's how it works, right? Not trying to, I guess, explain everything, because I can just barely touch and go. And if there is any misstatements I made, please correct me with your comments. And I'm not 100% all all informed, all knowing source of someone who's able to, like a university professor who could answer everything. No, I just gather information, sometimes out of curiosity, and then what I see, when it bothers me, I try to talk about it using this portal. And that said, okay, let's move on. Too much.
Gee, there are more drones than stars in the sky. Go march into Langley and get some answers for your people. Come on, Booker. What are we all doing? We're just going to be staring into the sky with our iPhones and shotguns every night? There's suspicious drones blanketing an American state, but the media is upset that Trump is on the cover of a magazine.
Is this a joke? Did we get something wrong? Did someone scam us? Are we sure about this, producers? There is a convicted felon on the cover of Time magazine as the person of the year. Maybe we're being scammed.
It's not always been great people that have been on the cover of Time, right? It's been people like Joseph Stalin and Adolf Hitler and Khrushchev and Khomeini. So he's in that kind of company as
Joseph Stalin, Ayatollah Khomeini, and Vladimir Putin. In fact, Stalin won the distinction twice, just like Trump. Regardless of the company he keeps, we know how important these magazine covers are to Trump.
Who does Joy Reid think should be Person of the Year? Who, Joy? Who? Give me a name.
So that's with the program, The Five Women. I guess five, I guess they are part of the establishment. They are doing this for money, and they don't care for their country, and they don't care for the public. They are paid money, they are happy. And they would spew venom, and they're part of the Democrat Party establishment. And the parties, they're all paid the top, the villainous top tier, always running the country, pulling the strings from behind. Do they care for the ordinary citizens? No. It's all about whatever they do, they'll do it for their own, to enhance their own financial coffers. Anyway, such view, and we'll listen to.
Obviously. One says, in his experience, Democrats tip more and are generally lower maintenance guests than Democrats. So DC bartenders say Republicans are more generous to workers and aren't a bunch of drama queens? That sounds about right. So there's a silver lining. So what's happening now is Trump has the win.
Here's the thing. America is divided, Democrats and Republicans. From the way I remember, Democrat Party used to be somewhat a decent party. Like we had very good presidents in the past. In the 60s, we had John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and they all got assassinated. And of course, President Trump, along the line after all these years, President Reagan, there was an assassination attempt. I guess after that he toned down a bit, because I think once he said, "I am the servant of the general public," and implying I work for, you can infer from, you fill in the blanks, right? And and Trump, there had been 2 assassinations, and the third one was, I guess, in the nick of time, thwarted. So all that is. And I'm sure Trump is going to be the history someday. I hope he will be still around after he completes this 4-year term. His name will go into the annals of history. Probably the best president of United States. You see, people who focus only on the negatives, only on his shortcomings, will always despise him. But nobody looks at his strengths and his positives. So, and that's a problem. It's what you're like. I think what's his name? Newt Gingrich, erstwhile speaker, put it very succinctly. He said, people don't understand Trump. Trump has he has 2 personalities. There's a big Trump who has all the business acumen and the master of making business deals, and so full of intelligence, and is gifted. with EQ. EQ is, what is intelligent quotient and emotional. All business people have EQ as opposed to IQ. IQ people who are on IQ, they might get gold medals in Harvard, but when they went and studied all the gold medalists, what happened? All these people had a set pattern. All they did was in life they become some kind of CEOs in a company or a financial establishment, and bought a house or two, had one or two children, some had three. They paid off their college fees and paid off the mortgage and retired. That was the most they achieved in life with all their gold medals. And then they went and looked at the 10 richest people at the time. All of them were either high school dropouts or college dropouts. Nobody had a degree. Of course, Elon Musk now is probably the only person among the top tier. And he has a bachelor's degree in engineering. Of course, he's a genius without a question. He is all Einstein and Isaac Newton all in one combined, I guess. The stuff he does is unimaginable. So anyways, that's how it goes. So Trump coming back to Newt Gingrich, what he said, there is a big Trump and there's a small Trump who is petty, who is very reactive, who would act like like immature, like a adolescent, talking back and snapping at people when they try to insult him, and saying things bluntly with a certain certain innocence, or exhibiting an ingenuous qualities. And so that's Trump. There's a small Trump and a big Trump. The ones who are so on the left, extreme left, these opinionated ones whose intelligence is highly questionable, and when your intelligence becomes a question mark, you will be the least informed person, but you will have the strongest emotions. Usually when you're emotionally driven, even if you have intelligence, it goes out of the window. So got to remember that. And so people who focus on Trump's strengths, they would always be a fan. Like the left does, because it's their nemesis. They will only point out his negatives, and the people who are... See, there's another thing comes to my mind. There's a difference between a statesman and a politician. Who is a politician? A politician is a person who works for his party. A statesman works for the country and the people, immaterial of the party leanings, right? You can say John F. Kennedy was a statesman, and Trump coming along, Trump is a great statesman. Ronald Reagan is a great statesman. The others are just politicians. They work for party and they are there to, I guess, scoop under the table. And so this resolution, the continuing resolution with 1,547 pages, it was 100 billion to approve 100 billion. Congress, the Democrats trying to pass this bill to approve 100 billion, nearly 30 billion in FEMA funding, 10 billion in economic assistance for farmers. All that is good. Adds 2.25 billion to the business disaster loan. That's good. Restrictions on outbound business investment to China, fine. Includes 500 pages of healthcare provisions, transparency in charges for key events, transfer of RFK Stadium. All that, they have very lavishly and very generously approved highest salary, income and salaries and benefits and everything to the the Congress senators and the ones who are voting, like see the like for instance the Congress senators and the people who are the officials who are part of the party, huge unimaginable amount of money conveniently allotted because they are looking after, while people, the inflation and everything is really crushing the people. They reward themselves, and let alone the kickbacks they get, which is hard to substantiate because you need proof, but it happens everywhere in the world, right? And so that's what is happening. But what happened now? Trump had two strong, intelligent people, Elon Musk, of course, and Vivek Ramaswamy. Wow, Vivek Ramaswamy came out and said, I did a favor, I read all the 1,547 pages it's a matter of 2 days or whatever. Oh man, not even for my exams I would have studied something like that. And so he just pointed out, and this the Democrat Party members threatened, and Elon Musk came back and threatened in the sense they were using tactics to approve it. He came back and he said, if you approve this, all these people who are voting, the senators voting comes up in 2 years. So he said, get something to that effect. I'm putting it in my own words. Get ready to leave, right? And everybody started shivering in their boots because he is powerful, all right? And when you talk about money rules the world, and someone like Elon Musk, one of the top billionaires, probably the richest in the top tier of the billionaires. We are not talking about trillionaires. Forbes magazine doesn't even account for trillionaires because those are mostly dynasties and families and dynasties. So the criteria for Forbes magazine is what? It has to be an individual. So they only account for individual, and they don't account for statesmen and heads of state. So Elon Musk says Russian President Putin is richer than him. So his name doesn't go into the Forbes magazine every 4 years because he's the leader of a country, and they don't account for families and dynasties. The assets and the wealth should be traceable to you, the person's name. So these dynasties, the $1 trillion dynasties, royal family of England is said to be a dynasty that coming into the trillionaire club, and Vatican, yes, religious organization. It comes to the top tier of the richest organizations, and then all these Carnegie families and Rothschild families, said to be 500 families in the dynasty, and all. So people don't understand who is pulling the string, right? It's a top tier, and why they hate Trump so much? Because nobody has the guts to oppose these people. They're so powerful. He came out, he couldn't care less. I guess sometimes when I look at him and see what's going, I feel very sorry for him. When you're rich, when you have money, you don't know who is loyal to you, who is sincere. You don't know even the woman who you decided to spend your life with. You are married, your wife, you start a family. When you're money there, you don't know why they are with you. It's for money. Right, I'm not trying to denigrate anything. I'm not insinuating anything. Right, if I'm a billionaire tomorrow, people want to be friends with me. Women want to be. That's the way it goes. Right. So you don't know who is true. Your family will be very close to you. Your brothers and sisters will cuddle you. Oh my God, this is our brother, That's what money does. You don't know who is sincere, who is genuine around you. So when you look at someone like Trump, who just bluntly speaks and who is somewhat ingenuous and very sincere in his own way, though he speaks bluntly, and sometimes he says in a very immature way with things he has uttered around friends. They pretend like friends and they record it and they come and put it on broadcast it on in the legacy media to tarnish him and to denigrate him, to ruin his image. All that he has been through too much. I don't think anybody has been through his, and I don't know where he gets the strength from. Amazing man. As much as a good number of half of America, or close to half of, not quite half, close to half of America thinks just the opposite, because they are the venomous, biased population who are brainwashed, who cannot weed out the media diabolic lies and to see the truth. That said, I guess it's getting long. We'll wind up here. So that's what it is. Thank you.